I picked the Cowboys yesterday.
You picked the Cowboys yesterday.
Good pick.
I went perfect yesterday, actually, on my pick segment with CBS.
Did you really?
And I owe
Is this the most proud pick you have?
No, I owe it to my history of playing and blocking for backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I know the attention to detail that goes into the building.
Good point.
During a week where you have your star player like a Dak Prescott get injured, and you know that everybody's got to be on their P's and Q's. You're down a left tackle, a generational left tackle.
Yeah.
There's things that need to be done differently this week in practice. And even Zeke Elliott said, this guy knows his shit.
Yeah.
When Coop comes in, he knows his shit. That's like verbatim what he said. Like, he comes in, we're not worried about it. Pick them because of that. You come out yesterday and you're like, wow, Cincinnati does have some real issues. And wow, Cooper Rush can win for the Cowboys.
Yeah, since he has real issues, I'm not going to panic on them. I mean, like, listen, in preseason, and I got the Ravens to win the North. I have the Bengals going to the playoffs. This is a regression to the mean partially because they were a 10-7 team last year. They had these problems last year, and it didn't stop them from going to the Super Bowl, but they seem to be getting worse up front. I think a lot of it is new offensive line across the board, right? You go on the road, big test. You played a really multiple defense the first week who had like TJ Watt for most of the game, Highsmith, all those guys. They got after you. A totally different challenge this week. You had a bunch of guys that can just go, and one of them is like a fucking alien. And Dallas got after him, but Burrow, the appendectomy, all these guys trying to work with one less preseason game than you're used to. I mean, 3 preseason games these days in the NFL. I think it's going to take time, unfortunately, and it's not a cushion that they want to give in the AFC, but they're going to have to. The offensive line played bad. La'el Collins, I like the signing, but you got to help him more. And he's got to play better. Not just the sack that he gave up to Micah Parsons, which was, listen, and this is an offensive tackle. He's turned. I watched it 15 times in here last night. I go, oh my God, La'el Collins has turned to the sideline at 3.5 yards. He's turned to the end zone at
on
4
his
yards.
So by his third kick, La'el's already opened up, and that's just by nature of the fact that he's going against a Ferrari on the edge.
He's happened to see whiz by him in practice a bunch.
No, you're absolutely right.
So
I didn't even
think
about that.
Think about one-on-one pass rush, the guys that you're like, I hope I don't play him one day.
You're so right. You're so right.
he's like, fuck, he's coming to town. I said I was Joe Burrow's bodyguard. It's not going well. On that sack, he's turned to the end zone for people that, like, if you can get an offensive tackle turned, the whole game changes for you as a rusher. And usually offensive tackles turn because of speed.
It's like, okay, so imagine if I'm trying to guard Chris at the top of the key in basketball.
Oh, you would get this word.
So if Chris is right-handed, he wants to go to my left. He wants to take it with his right hand. Yeah. Now imagine if I position my body this way on Chris. Chris is right here. Now he knows he can go this way really easily.
He's turning his shoulders.
That's what opening the door for a tackle does, and that's tough to see, and it's even tougher against Micah Parsons, who can threaten with speed, and he can put his foot in the ground as we've seen time and time again and get back underneath.
So he wins underneath because he's turned sideways, running full speed to the end zone, and so is Micah Parsons. So imagine being in a race to the end zone with Micah Parsons, and all Micah Parsons has to do is stop, and he does at 5 yards. And then beats him again on the recovery. So
Kyle, leading the witness here, but I give you 4 other dudes on the offensive line you've played with for 5 years who are B-level players. I assume you're taking that over a Pro Bowl offensive line that you've been with for 2 weeks.
Yeah, for example, when I went to the Senior Bowl after playing at Oregon, I had played 1 full year with one group of guys, and then you go to the Senior Bowl, and albeit they may be all-stars in their own right in their division, when you come together, it's 5 guys who have never played together before.
How quick can it come together?
It's going to take 4 to 5 weeks of live speed because you can't simulate game speed, right, Chris? I mean, we can practice until the cows come home, but you're never really going to pin your ears back, and I'm never going to try to finish a guy. That stuff happens in these games, especially when you're playing against superstars like Micah Parsons. But the stuff I have issue with, it's not an effort thing with the Bengals. It's not and these guys are professionals. They're going to work hard. But when I go look at the tape from week 1, and I'm going to take a deeper look at this tape from a protection standpoint, I see technical issues. Like Jonah Williams took a great set against Highsmith in week 1. Great set. The one thing he didn't do is stab his left hand. I love Jonah Williams' game. I think he's a great athlete. He finishes elite rushers. That got Highsmith to chop, stack, sack. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, It's a reoccurring theme. They try to pull the left guard to trap T.J. Watt last week. He doesn't get there because there's trash on the deuce block. The puller never gets there.
It's compounding.
These are the things that you see in film, and the O-line coach says, guys, we're one block away. We're one guy away. We have a touchdown here if we have a half a second.
That happens so much in meeting rooms.
Yeah.
Like, hey, guys, we just didn't take advantage of this.
They may
one
be
thing.
closer than we think.
I know those routes are out there. Boyd and Higgins didn't get a lot of touches early. They came on late. And for one drive, Joe Burrow looked like Joe Burrow. And the reason I love Joe Burrow, there's no quarterback I'd rather have when the chips are down. And the chips are down for them because Joe Burrow has a short memory. He does not care. There was one drive late in the game when they tied it up that he looked like Joe Burrow. You know, like, it's in there, dude. It's not like one of these things where somebody lost his fastball. Maybe the offensive line needs to do the thing where they gather in a room and say a fact about each other.
Yeah.
You know, like do that. It always works in the business world.
They need to go to a panic room
Just like do it. No, like one of those, like the
with
escape
Micah
room.
Parsons.
They need to go to an escape
Yeah.
room. They need to do like a corporate day where
Together.
these corporations do all these team building exercises. Do that.
Paint some pottery.
Yeah, paint some fucking pottery.
like a wine and design.
Like amazing glaze.
Amazing Glaze. Is that a place?
That's where we used to go to as kids.
Oh, was it called Amazing Glaze?
That's how we got to know each other, Chris.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.